hello, Lightworking Mom. Hello, American Abstract. Hello, hello. I'm happy to be here with you, ladies. Buenos dias and happy day. Today is Tuesday, December the 16th. I have to check my calendar because I'm not sure. I'm happy to be here with you guys. I will say I've already got 3 people on the list. I'm excited about it, but I want to do my announcements and all the stuff, and then we will get started with everything, I promise. Hey, let there be light. A couple things I want to announce. First thing is this Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time is my I'm co-hosting a live Zoom event with Reiki Rachel. She is someone I very much look up to. She's become a friend and we work very well together. She and I are co-hosting an event. The event can be found, the link to the event can be found either on my Patreon page. If you go to my Patreon page and scroll back a little bit, you'll be able to find it. Or if you just copy and paste my link tree out of the description of this video, you can also find that there. I can tell you tickets are limited in number. It's about, I think it's set for 2 hours. It's last time we did this, I was on like an energetic high for days. It was fantastic. So check it out. Hey, you made it, Melissa. Hello. All right. The second thing I want to announce is I have put all of my theory videos, my theory of everything videos. There's 4 of those. My video on the Schumann, my most recent video on explaining the Schumann, my video on Santa Claus, and I think my video on autism and ADHD have all been put together in one playlist. It's called a course. You can find that right here on my YouTube channel. I'm not charging you anything for it. It's just a way to organize it in a rational way. I don't know how to tell you to find that on my channel because I don't know, but it is created, it is there, so you can access this. Thank you, Viviana, I appreciate that. Hello, I'm excited for my live event too. I'm so excited. That brings me to the Channels Chair. The Channels Chair is January the 9th, and it is at 7 p.m. Central Time. This is a Zoom event, just like the thing with Reiki Rachel, except the difference is it's going to be a lot more conversation. Rachel does an energetic activation and all kinds of wonderful things in her sessions that we do, but in the ones that I do, it's much more of channeled conversations. The best thing you can do is bring your questions to this event. Any question you have about the theories that I have, if you want to expand on that, we can do that. These aren't necessarily videos or meetings where you can ask me to do a private reading for you, but a good question is like, I understand that my children are highly sensitive. How can I help them better access this, or how, and whatever, you know, something like that. But, or you can ask me about frequency, the universe, whatever, you know. So that is also linked in my link tree. Private sessions before Christmas, I believe I only have 1 availability left. So if you wanted to do that before Christmas, there's 1 spot. Today and Thursday are the last 2 days until after Christmas that I will be live on any platform, and I will be here with you guys on YouTube. Good morning, Meta. So all the announcements out of the way, I'm going to tell you guys there's a lot of release energy going around. I can't control how spicy she gets, all right? So keep that in mind. Everything is said with love, and sometimes you need to hear it in the way it is given to you, right? So keep an open mind. I do have several people on the list already. Celeste is up first, and then Marie, and then Jacqueline. After that, the list is open, so we have plenty of space and time. Do me a favor, if you have not already, jump out and like the live. It helps me out a little bit, you know. Hi, Blake. Readings are $25 US. Venmo and PayPal are available to you. Hi, Marie. I see you. I'm looking for Celeste. Celeste is up first, so we're going to see if we can get Celeste. There she is. So Celeste is first. Also, remember, the best part about getting a reading on YouTube, you guys, is you can go back and watch the reading again later on the replay. Okay, that is so helpful because they can be a lot of information. So keep an open mind. Remember, sometimes things don't land immediately. Doesn't mean they don't apply. Give it a minute, you know. It's a lot of energy going around. All right, Celeste, I see you. Hello, everyone. Sarah, I see you. You were on the list right after Jackie. All right. So I am an energy. So the title I was given by my guides is a frequency and clarity coach. Art Ventures. You'll have to tell me your name for sure, but I got you. I'm gonna put it down there. I am a frequency and clarity coach. That's the title I was given by my higher self. What that means is, if you want a visual for that, and the easiest way to explain it is, if you picture yourself learning to ride a bicycle, someone would hold the bike for you while you got your balance, and then eventually you would take off and keep going. I'm the person holding the bike while you modulate your frequency to a new level, but I'm going to let go and you're going to keep going. So that's what I'm most helpful with. That's what I'm most useful for. It's hard to do that on a platform like this. So in order to bring as much clarity as I can to the situation, I'm going to tap into the energy and then use oracle cards to hi Robin, I got you on the list. That's my daughter's name. And then I use my cards and my energy to give you clarity on that, because that is simply the easiest way I can do it through YouTube. I do offer private sessions. I have a very active Patreon channel that has an article every single Wednesday connecting science and spirituality. I've got classes. I've got all kinds of stuff. So when people ask me, what do you do? It's a really big question and very hard to answer. And Meta, you would not believe the manifestation that I think is about to happen for me today. And I'm going to have to message you to tell you, because it is enormous. Remember what I said yesterday? It goes with that. All right, Celeste. Good morning, Celeste. I see you. All right. Melissa, I see you too. You're on the list. All right, Celeste, I am ready for you. I absolutely love your name. It always makes me think of a beautiful night sky full of stars, and I hope that that's also what you think of, right? So I hope that you recognize that you gave yourself that name for a reason. I truly understand. I have a big, strong understanding that we choose our names before we come to this plane, and it's the name you prefer. It doesn't necessarily mean if your name is Jennifer, then it's Jennifer. If you like the name Jenny and you chose Jenny, Jenny is the name, right? Erin is my name. Celeste, I assume, is your name, unless you have a nickname. These names carry energetic signatures, and you can figure out that energetic signature in a lot of different ways. Numerology is one very easy way to do that. But that energetic signature is like a hint, a clue, a little whisper to remind you of how special you are, how unique you are of an energy. So when I look at your name, Celeste, the very first thing I see is this dark sky with these beautiful stars. And it has this feeling of, even though the night is dark, the stars are there. They're guiding the way, right? This reminds me very much of your energy. I'm just going to dive in. Sorry. This very much reminds me of your energy. So you have this big open heart. Your empathy is nice and strong, which is beautiful to see. It's also a little bit, I don't know the right word for it, because I don't have a good word for it. It's a little bit too big. I'm going to tell you that. It's a little bit too big. It's a little bit outside of its boundaries. And not because you're doing something wrong, but because you can't help everyone, right? You just can't. A lot of people that you have compassion for and you genuinely want to reach a hand out and help, they are not in a position, A, to even recognize that you're trying to help them, or B, to do anything with the tools you're trying to give them, because they aren't quite there yet. It's a very much, to me, it's being shown very much like a frequency thing. Like when they look at you, it's like you're blurry and speaking a language they can't understand. So they're not willing to listen. And I'm being shown that there's several of these people in your life. You just want to help them, but they're not willing to help themselves. You cannot do it for them, friend. So there's this feeling of wanting you to rein in your empathy just a little bit. I'm not telling you to close the door and cut them out. I'm saying give them some space. Be the alternative, right? Show them what it's like when you pull yourself together. Show them what it's like when you decide to choose on purpose where you focus. Show them what it's like. And through this demonstration, they will absolutely follow you, and they will start to find themselves. Not because they need you to fix them, but because you can show them they can fix themselves, and this is what it will look like, right? I can't speak to specifically who this is, right? But it feels like several people. I'm being shown like several people. They're just all blurry to me. And there's this sense of, but I want to help. I understand. But And I also understand that sometimes we tell ourselves that that is our purpose in life, is to help someone else. But a gentle reminder to you and everyone else in this room, that's simply not the case. You, friends, you are the purpose of your life. You are that special. The purpose of your life is to experience the contrast that lands in your way, to use your free will to choose better for yourself and see the results of that choice. That's the purpose of your life. The side effect of living that purpose of your life is that you feel the call to help others. But we have to learn the balance between offering help in a mild way and saying, here's the tools, when you're ready, I'm here, and saying, these are the tools and you're going to do what I say. That hasn't worked for religion. Why would it work for other things, right? So be the alternative. Be the alternative. Be the alternative. Celeste, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. My guides are asking you to turn towards your inspiration, even in the face of confrontation, meaning all these people around you who may not be listening. You got to turn back to your inspiration and be the inspiration through the conflict, friend. My guides tell me this is going to require you to let go of some teachings you hold from when you were younger. Maybe the idea of I need to fix everything, or I need to keep the calm in the space in the room, or something like that you're unlearning. And it's okay. You're going to unlearn it. You'll be fine. But just recognize it's a pattern of learning that you can unlearn, okay? I know you're reluctant to let these people kind of do these things on their own, but the hardship is the lesson they need to learn. So my guides are asking you to see things through a new lens. Look at this as an opportunity for them to help themselves rather than be saved, and it will change the way you approach the situation. 33 in the room has a confirmation. My guides tell me they want you to turn back in the direction of your dreams. Let your light get bright by focusing on your dreams and desires, and by your light getting brighter, everyone around you by consequence just starts to feel that same energy. Crystal, I see you, and you are on the list. Just a reminder, you guys, please be patient with me as I make my way through this list. Celeste, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I hope that was helpful. I'm really not doing a good job of remembering these sessions. I'm coming in and out, but I'm really not remembering. So please keep that in mind, okay? I used to hate my name growing up. Nobody could say it. Then I realized the uniqueness was special. Yes. Oh yeah. Then Facebook took it, and that is bullshit. I love your name, Meta. I'm gonna update my list. Give me 2 seconds. Hi, Carolyn. Melissa. Hello. All right, so Celeste, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I certainly hope it was helpful. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to update my list. Marie is up next. And then Jacqueline, Sarah. I have something called Art Ventures. I don't know the name of that person, so that person needs to tell me their name at some point. Art Ventures, and then Robin, Melissa, and Crystal. Those are the people on the list. The Robin, I'm excited. My daughter's name is Robin, spelled with a Y. Freaking love it, okay? Stephanie, got you. All right, good. All right, you guys, please be patient with me, and remember, you can always rewatch your reading. There you are. Light worker, light working mom. That's you, right, Marie? I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Gosh, I am losing hair, man. You guys like my sweater? I got this off of TikTok. Is that not adorable? I'm going to Florida for Christmas, and I wanted some Christmassy sweaters that I'm not going to die in because it's going to be 80 degrees. Love it. I got one with gnomes and one with snowmans. It's going to be so cool. What a beautiful reading. I was adopted at birth. My name came from my grandpa wanted to name my mother Celeste, so my mom passed the name on as I was a gift from God, she likes to say. I love it, friend. I love that story, but remember, it's there to remind you of you and your beautiful specialness that you chose that, right? All right, Marie, there you are. Marie Elliott. So I'm unclear on who's who here, because I've got light working mom saying that they're Marie, and then I've got Marie saying that they're Marie. So light working mom, you want to clarify that for me? Oh, we have 2 Maries. That's why. We have 2 Maries in a row. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. That explains it. That explains it. Oh, how fun. You guys, how fun was that? Oh my gosh, how fun. All right. So Marie Elliott is first. Okay, Marie Elliott is first. And then Marie, Lightworking Mom, you are after that. So I'm sorry, everybody, that kind of bumps the list by one person, but I'm so glad that it happened so that I know that she was even on there. Oh my goodness. My goodness. What a lovely synchronicity. Can we just say hallelujah, high five from the universe? I'm super excited about that. Ah, hey Crystal, I'm so glad you're here. You've been awake since 3:30 a.m. Pacific. Girl, I've been awake since 3:30 a.m. here. Two twins, I love it, I love it. All right, Marie Elliott though, you are up first, my friend. I saw you, where'd you go? There you are, I got you. Oh, I lost you. There you are. Marie Elliott. 4406. Yes, ma'am. Oh, how fun. I love it when we get those synchronicities. It's so fun. I'm going to ask everyone in the room with 33 here, I love the confirmation, just to give me a blanket permission if we're going to have a reading for me to tap in. I am not necessarily controlling the flow of information as well as I normally do today, so I just need that blanket permission. I promise not to do it unless I tell you first. I promise. I'm not that kind of person. So just know that. All right. Marie Elliott, 4406. I'm so excited to read for you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. Marie, as I come into your energy, the very first thing I felt something first. Physical, tactile sensations, sun on my face. All right, I feel as though the sun is coming up through a window or blinds, okay? There's this feeling because I feel the sun on my face, my ear's popping. Because I feel the sun on my face, like physically feel it on my face, this feels like a tactile reflection of something physical with a metaphorical representative. This is really interesting. All right, so they're showing me laying in bed and the blinds open just enough that the sun comes in. It feels like morning time. I can't say for sure, but you're in bed and it's the sun. So I'm going to say morning. You're in bed and the sun comes in at just the right angle and it feels like it hits you just in the eye. This feels like a physical representation of something changing vibrationally for you. I feel like you're on this sort of in-between wobble between frequencies. And this is one of the really hard places for people to be because you don't know how to feel or where to tune in specifically. I need to pick up my cards. You are in the process, remembering, of course, that when we are saying we're moving frequencies, we're not going this way. It's not better or worse. 99 FM and 103 FM are not better or worse. They just play different things, right? So we have to remember that. So the human body has a bandwidth that it can stand this much, let's say that. Because if it goes any faster, if the frequency goes any faster, what happens to things where you speed up the molecules? What happens to water when you boil it? It turns to steam. Do you want to be steamed? No. So you have this much room, right? So as you are moving towards this end of your frequency spectrum, you have to let go of the things down here because you don't get bigger like this. You do this, right? So if something's holding you to this end and this end has something like grief or frustration attached to it, you have to drop that so that you can come this way. But in the in-between, you feel this sort of tug on that. You're moving here, but you can't sustain it. So you get the tug, you get the tug, you get the tug. And a lot of time this comes up feeling like triggers. Things that you're like, I thought I was freaking over this. Why is it back in my space? Because, friend, in order for you to fully move this way, you have to actually be over it. You can't do lip service. You can't say, I'm over it. And then when it happens, when you're up here, you have a big reaction because it's going to knock you right back down to where you were. These triggers are revisited over and over and over until you grow out of them, right? Because healing, friends, is a spiral. Think of a tree and its rings, okay? Think of it, put that visual in your mind. Think of an event happens in the ring. You go around like this, you have to grow around it. And you come around and then you grow around it and then you come around, and each time it gets less and less and less until now you fully healed this thing, right? It doesn't remove what happened. It doesn't take it away. It still has impacted you and your growth, but it's there. It's there, okay? I do feel like these triggers need to be addressed. They deserve your attention. It's not about like rigging your environment so you aren't triggered. It's about taking away the power you've assigned to the trigger so you don't need to rig your environment. You don't want to live a life you feel like you have to escape all day long. That is such a waste of your energy, which is precious. You cannot get more time in this life experience. Why waste it on things like that? So these triggers that are coming up, they need to be addressed, no matter how small they are. Look for the underlying wave that connects them all. What is the underlying feeling? And to get to that, write it out at the top of the page. I am angry. Why? Because the dishes weren't done. Ask yourself why until you get all the way down to the bottom. I'm angry because the dishes weren't done. Why? Why does that make you mad? Because I asked 4 times. But why does that make you mad? Because I keep repeating myself. Why does that make you mad? Because I keep having to ask. But why does that make you mad? Because no one's listening to me. Trigger. Right? All right. Marie, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. My guides are saying you're a little bit in your head with things. As you are moving forward, you've got to let go of those lower vibrational, lower frequency things as you shift your overall frequency, right? This is by keeping yourself in alignment. You're doing a good job. This is what's getting you to move this way. You have a ton of potential available to you in your energy. That sunrise coming through the blinds is always the sign of something new coming forward. And you are the one bringing this manifestation into the light, right? It brings with it a feeling of a brighter future and a definite feeling of reliability, stability, King of Pentacles behind you. But there's some healing yet to be done. And it's going to bring up some confrontations, these triggers going off, so that you can address them. So when you walk into this new beginning, friend, you can actually sustain the frequency of that beginning. Alana, got it. Marie, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate it, and I certainly hope it was helpful. Marie, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope it was helpful, friend. Boy, they're really just coming right through today. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. I'm so glad to have my mods in the room with me today. We've got Meta, Sand, and Like a Mom. That's Whitney and Meta. They can absolutely help you out with any questions that you may have, okay? I do have a list going, so please be patient with me and kind with others in the room. My mods have permission to silence your comments or escort you from the room if necessary. We don't get political and we're not going to get judgmental in this space. All are welcome. But if you're going to judge me or anyone else in this room, you are not invited until you get over yourself, friend. All right? All right, so Marie, the other Marie, you are up next. Come on down and have a seat. And if you cannot pay, you are welcome to hang out here with me. Often there will be a reading that feels like it resonates with you. Fortunately, this is how I pay my bills. So I'm happy to offer my services to the best of my ability, but I cannot do it for free. And I apologize for that, but it's not going to happen. You wouldn't go to somebody and tell them you need a haircut and you want it for free. Same kind of service. You guys see how much my silver has come out in the last few months? Last few weeks, I'd say, Meta, wouldn't you? It's really lit up because my frequency is literally changing, like in front of my face. All right, Marie F., you are up next. Come on down. There you go. There you are. Light working mom. I'm so excited to read for you, my friend. Thank you for your patience and with the funny little mix-up. How fun. I'm like, oh, so excited. All right, Marie's up now. Then Jacqueline, Sarah, Stephanie, Robin, Melissa, Crystal, and Alana. I'm going to do my best, Alana. All right. My guides are like, Marie. Deja vu, right? So Marie, as I come into your space, you have a lot of very soft edges to your energy, a lot of soft colors. I know that sounds really strange, but when I work with people, a lot of their colors are very hard colors to me. And I know that's a weird term because it denotes better or worse, and that's not a thing, right? It's just the way the color presents itself. Your colors are more pastel-y looking to me than primary, right? They more mix together than separate is the better way to put it, I guess. They're also not as intense, which means means that they're not like cycling through anything. When I see someone with soft, colorful energy like this, it is very much a peaceful place in that energetic space. I do understand, I feel like needing to tell you that the chaos you're feeling doesn't belong to you. It feels like you're trying to make it belong to you for some reason, but it doesn't, right? It's almost like that you're putting a lot of attention on something that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with you, maybe indirectly, but not directly. And it feels as if this doesn't need to be as big as it is, right? When I look at your energy, it's soft and pastel. When I look at the energy outside of you, it's hard, sharp edges. These two are not the same. Something doesn't match here, but there's this incursion of a hard, sharp energy into this space. I do feel, though, that it's almost like they're showing me driving past a car accident, like I can't look away kind of thing, like, ooh, what happened? It's very, you know, there's a lot going on in the world right now. The stuff with Rob Reiner and his wife, it's very easy to go down that rabbit hole and watch that and listen to everything. It's very easy to get filled with hate. It is very, very easy to become filled with anger right now. It is very difficult to hold the light because anger has had the momentum for so long. It's like a train, right? It's going 60 miles an hour. Even though the other train with all the light is starting to pick up momentum, the train going 60 miles an hour cannot just stop. It has to slow down, right? And on the other hand, the other train is picking up momentum. So we have to feed the right momentum, right? It's easy to go down that pathway. So do yourself a favor. Be mindful of the things that you are consuming on all levels. Make sure you feel good about what you're watching, what you're talking about, what you're eating. Talk to your water. Tell your water, thank you for filling my body up. We drink deconstructed water. Natural flowing water has a sort of structure to it. Water that comes out of the tap has a very deconstructed nature to it. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Talk to your water. Water holds shape. With the soft edges to your energy, I know everybody wants me to say, oh, this is your Claire, this is your Claire. I want everyone in the room to hear me when I say this. You have access to every single Claire all the time. The ability to utilize that Claire is very much like using a muscle. The more you practice, the easier it will become. Some Claires will require more practice than others, but they are all present because you don't have to be special to have any of them. They are simply the other side of your physical senses, right? This universe is built on duality. If there is one side, there must be another. If you have access to one side, you have access to the other, right? It's just we have this mind trap of thinking that we must prove ourselves because religion has taught us so. That's not the case. You are born inherently blessed, if you want to call it that, right? What makes you special is the realization you have access to it. So once you get out of your head and realize that, it makes things a lot easier, right? Marie, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They're acknowledging that there's a restlessness in your energy. That restlessness is because you're surrounding yourself with things that don't match your frequency. My guides are asking you to do a little bit of evaluation of where you're spending your time, where you're spending your attention, and to do a little bit better job to shift things in the direction of positivity. That's not because I want you to ignore the world around you. It's because it matches better with your frequency and you will have better clarity when you do that. My guides tell me your crown chakra is very active. It's definitely calling you forward and happy to see you. You are definitely on a path of spiritual growth, but right now you have a lot of attention on something that's not helpful. So stop focusing on that and instead focus on your own reliability. Focus on the things you have around you, the things you're excited for, the things you're grateful for. This brings with it its own new beginning just for you. It's where you're going to find your feeling of balance. But again, you've got to get out of your head to access this. And sometimes that takes more work than we're willing to admit. But it is worth it. All right, Marie. Hope that was helpful, friend. I hope that was helpful. Oh, are they hidden? They're not really hidden. I bought it because it was gnomes, right? I'm just sitting very close. If I back up, they're much easier to see, right? I have one with snowmen on it too, I think. Or maybe Christmas trees. I can't remember. It's for my Florida time. Thank you, friend. I really, really appreciate you. I hope it was helpful. All right, Jacqueline. Jackie, did you tell me that you don't like being called Jackie, or did I imagine that, or was that someone else? Did we have this mental conversation, or am I making this all the way up? But Jackie's next. Jacqueline is next. Then Sarah, Stephanie, Robin, Melissa, Crystal, and Alana. I appreciate you, friend. I got this off of TikTok Shop. I get so much stuff off of TikTok Shop. I am not even kidding you. So many cute clothes, so many things. I've never gotten anything off of TikTok Shop that didn't like meet what it said it was. I mean, there are some things that I ordered that I misunderstood what it was, but that was on me. Here, call Jackie. All right, got it. Okay. I thought so. All right. All right, Jackie. Your energy, this is going to sound super weird and creepy, but your energy smells like watermelon. Take a deep breath, and what I smell is watermelon. Okay, so watermelon reminds me of summertime. Where are we going with this, right? It has the color red, but refreshing. Summertime. I feel like there's water. Where are we going with this? I feel like I'm looking at something physical, not like a metaphorical thing. I feel like I'm looking at like not the ocean. I can't tell if this is like a lake or a big river. So I'm from Virginia. The James River is there. To me, in spaces, it looks like a freaking lake. It's so huge. So I cannot tell this. I can see a body of water, right? I perceive the smell of watermelon. I literally can hear the sound of taking a bite, and I taste it in my mouth. Watermelon is very prevalent in this. It really reminds me of summertime. There's a huge feeling of summertime in this. It's actually, I feel like I'm getting warm. There's this feeling of something to do with the color red in summertime, something about a body of water. This feels like a physical representation of a place where there's a realization of some kind or an understanding that comes through. It feels as if this is deeply rooted. Root chakra, that's where the red's coming from. Something deeply rooted. It's a realization though. This isn't like someone reveals a family secret to you and you're like, oh my God, my life is over. This is like you finally go somewhere where you have enough peace and quiet to hear yourself think for a hot second. And in the process, you kind of work your way through something. I feel like I'm looking at the lake or whatever it is, and I'm thinking slowly through something. And there's like these little things like clicking into space, and it doesn't at all feel disempowering. It feels actually empowering, like, oh, well, that makes sense. You know, there's this feeling of that it's very much that feeling that I had with my theory of everything. Like I took a step back and I'm like, oh, there's the big picture. I see it now. Whoa, like it's that kind of thing, right? It's very much that feeling. But I think it's because the physical location in which you find yourself is conducive to allowing the flow of information. Because remember, everything is frequency. The environment that you find yourself in, as much as we try for it not to, it absolutely will affect you on a cellular level, on a biospheric level. It'll affect your energy, right? So it feels as though because you are moved or at least temporarily are outside of a normal environment, it allows your frequency to move a little bit on the band, bringing in some new information. This puts a few things together, and I feel like whatever it is that puts it together starts to stir up some sort of idea, okay? So I can't see the idea because it's way down there. But it's this feeling of like putting together things, like the idea of I like cards, I like energy work, I like this. These things don't look like they would go together, but what if I did this or whatever, you know? I don't know. There's just something there, and it's the spark of something. Now, I don't want to mislead you and make you think that this is going to happen instantly and it's all going to be magical, because it doesn't feel like that. It feels aligned, which is different. Alignment takes time because we live in a very confined environment. So you have to sort of squash things down, right? But something about summertime, and it's like room to think. I keep hearing room to think, room to think, room to think. You guys, just another little thing. If this goes blank, I think I fixed it, but if this goes blank, go offline and come back. I will be right back on, okay? I think I fixed that, but I don't know. All right? Hey, Wade, good morning. All right, Jackie, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. Like I said, Wheel of Fortune is spinning around and facing in your direction, leading you to a feeling of spiritual growth. My guides tell me that there is a feeling of enthusiasm, a spark that comes forward when you have some time for your brain to unwind and some truths to rise to the surface. This truth that comes to the surface puts aside some self-doubt that you are wrestling with and opens the door for a pathway to put in the work to bring forward some sort of manifestation. What needs to be addressed is the lost confidence, but I think the environment that you're in is not conducive to building your confidence and causing you to make choices that aren't great for you all the time. Like, I'm going to watch the news, not on a macro level, not on a micro level, a macro level, but on a micro level, right? So getting outside of that environment feels like it allows your brain to expand enough for you to do the introspection that brings forward the idea and opens you up to a brighter future, a feeling of celebration, a feeling of coming home. This is where I belong, and literally ending it on the idea of here. You're going to open up a brand new role for yourself, friend. Something new physically coming forward, a new outward display of a role. I don't know what it is. It feels like summertime. Watermelon, for whatever reason, watermelon is all over this. I do love watermelon, and maybe it's just because my guides want to convey the feeling of summer, but you know. Jackie, thank you so much, my friend, for allowing me to read for you. Boy, I am behind, aren't I? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Well, hello. I'm so glad that you called me. Just as a reminder, my website, consciouslyerin.com, is the only place that you can schedule appointments. Someone texted me and asked me if they could schedule an appointment. I don't know how my number got out there because it's not associated with anything, but please do not text me. I have a website. Please go to the website. All right. Sarah, you are up next. Come on down and say hello. One second, Sarah. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to take care of that. All right, Sarah, you are up. I feel like I'm running so behind, and I'm so sorry. I don't know how my number even got out there, but whatever, you know. All right. Love summer. Me too. All right, Sarah. Hello from Northern California. Sarah, there you are. I see you. Good morning. Hello. Good morning, Sarah. I'm very excited to read for you, friend. You have a lot of blue in your energy. A lot of blue. Couple different shades of blue, Sarah. So in the main chakra system, there's two main colors of blue that come forward, the light blue of the throat and the dark blue of the third eye. These two are working on something, friend. This is exciting. So the throat is the place where we manifest. This is a bridge between your inner and outer world. Your inspired action is what brings things into the 3D environment for you. It is also where we speak up and speak our truths and hold our balance and put vibration to things, right? Remember, everything is frequency. Your voice carries a vibration, all the stuffs, right? It's very important. Third eye, everybody knows what that is. There's something going on here. There's a conversation that's happening between these two chakras, and it feels like it's building something physical in the environment. I feel that now it feels like a frequency. It's not quite coalesced, but it's the idea of things rolling around in space-time. You know, if you go back and watch my theory of everything, you'll know what I'm talking about. The particles are starting to collect, friend, and you're starting to coalesce these into something and bring them down. This feels connected connected to something accessible through your third eye, or that you choose to assess through your third eye. For some reason, I'm seeing someone laying down, and I cannot tell if I'm looking at them laying down or if it's you laying down. I feel very removed from the situation, so I almost feel as if this is you observing someone else laying down. I don't know if you've ever considered looking into hypnotism, quantum healing hypnosis technique, or something like that. It's very foggy because it's not coalesced yet, right? It's like, remember, okay, I'm gonna date myself. Back when you were a kid and your parents didn't have HBO, right? But Fraggle Rock was on and you knew it was on. If you were patient, you could see it through the little squiggles, right? At least that's what I was looking at, boys. Anyway, it's kind of like that, right? I can see this in there. It's just not quite together yet. There's a lot of resistance around this. There's a lot of static, right? As if you can, again, you're kind of like the other person where you're kind of doing this with your frequency range. You're trying to move, but you have a tether. That tether feels very tied to something that feels physical in nature. It's inspired, it's really inspired your root chakra to be very active. So it's stirring up feelings of stability, maybe wanting to control things or needing to know what the outcome is going to look like before I'll do it, right? Welcome to the club. Everybody does it, right? I am never going to tell you to do something and throw caution to the wind and pretend that you don't need things that are very necessary in this physical environment. Excuse me, your solar plexus is freaking out on me. Money is a real thing, at least right now in our society, but there are ways around this. You can fit it in the cracks. You can do it on the side. You can do these things. Bring those ideas forward in the smallest steps. Don't get caught up in the feeling that you have to go from A to Z in one giant leap. Friend, take the whole alphabet, because the journey is the thing that you came here for anyway. And I guarantee you that once you get to Z, it's going to feel really, really good for like 6 months. And then you're going to get bored and you're going to want to change it into something else. So enjoy the journey along the way. But whatever this is, you have to stop fighting with yourself on it. I feel like there's every time I'm inspired, oh, I should do this. Oh, no, I can't because. Oh, I should do this. Oh, no, I can't because. There's always a because, and it feels like that's become a dirty word in your language, and I would expect for you and encourage you not to use that as so much. The answer is yes or no. Don't justify. If you feel the need to justify, you have no confidence in your answer. Stop it. If you feel the need to justify to yourself, especially the answer without being asked, then you have no confidence in your answer. And friend, what does that reflect as far as your triggers and all your shadows go, right? Oh, that feels like it hurt me a little bit. So sorry, I told you she's being spicy. Sarah, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything I have already said. They're asking you to release some of these tethers, my friend. They're tied down to that self-doubt, especially when it comes to the connection in your third eye. They really want you to let this go. They're telling me that the longer you put it off, the harder it's going to be for you to move past it. On the other side of this frequency shift, you literally have these dreams and desires literally in your hand, but the problem is, hello, denial. It's more than just a river, right? So my guides are telling me that your strongest tool in your arsenal is your belief in self, and they are asking you to allow yourself to believe in who you are and what you believe for you. That doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, and it doesn't mean you can jump from A to Z, but it does mean that you can put little tiny steps in along the way. This leads to a sense of victory, belonging. I did it. This has ownership to it, but you have to remember you are the one driving this car. And there's a lot of things being triggered in your root right now that needs examination so that you can move to a frequency where that no longer applies, right? Then that creative vision can come forward and start to grow, but you have to stop avoiding the things that are keeping you trapped in your own head, friend. I feel like that hurt a little bit, Sarah. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that hurt me to say it a little bit. I hope it was okay. Sarah, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it, you guys. Do me a favor and pretty please go like this live if you don't mind. It helps me as a creator. The only other day I'm going to be live between now and Christmas is on Thursday. So today or Thursday are the only days to get readings between now and after Christmas. I will not be live until like the 28th, I think. That Monday after Christmas, I'll be back. I'm going to Florida. I'm going to enjoy my time. Hello, Lisa from Kansas. I know nothing about astrology, but I'm so glad. Thank you. I'm so glad you love my sweater. I love it too. Didn't hurt. It's dead on what I was journaling. Also, just dyed my hair teal. Oh, I love it. Love it. Fantastic, friend. Well chosen color. Good vibration to build up. Stephanie, you are next, friend. You are up next. Stephanie is next. Readings are $25 US. You have 2 payment options, Venmo and PayPal. I am under the same name on every platform across all social medias, all payment methods. It is Consciously Erin, one word, no weird characters, right? The list currently is Stephanie is up now, and then Robin, Melissa, Crystal, and Alana. I have plenty of space available, so if you want a reading, come on down. It's a good time. Hey, Stephanie, I see you. Hey, hey. All right, Stephanie. You have a lot of green and a lot of yellow in your space. And it's really peaceful. It feels like when I start tuning into your energy, it genuinely feels like it feels like that quiet space in the morning when you have children. This becomes, at least for me, it was one of the most cherished times of the day, where everything is still quiet, right? The sun is up, the kids are quiet, the coffee's brewing. If you have a rooster around, it's letting off its crows. The dew is still on the grass. That very peaceful moment. It symbolizes for me a good sense of balance between inner and outer, right? When I look at your energy, I see this, I feel this very clearly. And there's 2 sides to this balance. There's green and yellow, okay? So what I feel is happening very strongly in your energy, Stephanie, is you're going through an active healing space, but you're not just healing. You're growing on the solar plexus side at the same time, right? So solar plexus and heart, they're besties, they're roommates, right? The solar plexus is how you see yourself. This is the home of how you see yourself in the world. It's also the home to your creative inspiration. And the more creatively you allow yourself to create, the more inspired you allow yourself to create, the more like your authentic self you feel, and the more you feel like doing creation, right? It's a self-feeding circle, a snake eating its tail. I feel like I'm struggling with that sentence for some reason. There feels like a discovery here, and the discovery of this authentic self, no matter how small the flame is at the beginning, is bringing forward a lot of release and healing in that heart space. And I don't necessarily feel like this is big, deep, dark healing, and I do understand that there was probably some of that in there, but this feels like little tiny things, like letting go of being worried if I have a gray hair, or letting go of being worried if my kitchen is tidy, letting go of being worried about small little things like that, that maybe in the moment you don't even recognize that you're actually doing that it's not until the cumulative effort shows itself that you recognize the small steps of healing that you've been doing, okay? The solar plexus is very bright in your energy, and there's very much this feeling of just wanting the sun on my skin, as wanting to just integrate all this energy into the space, which feels really, really good, right? So keep going in this direction. I understand that it may not look exactly how you want it to right now. I get it. But you also have to understand that you are an unlimited being in a very limited physical space. Sometimes it takes time for things to sort of work their way forward. And if your expectation is too tight, if you only give the universe frequency this much room to work with, it's going to take 5 times as long as if you give it this much room to work with. So be careful of your expectations. Also remember, frequency wise, where you are and where you're going are not the same. So what you are capable of perceiving as a possibility for you is going to shift based on the shift in your frequency range, right? So be careful, because your expectation may be actually holding you to a different place than you want to be. Why are you telling yourself you're limited? Your environment is limited. Yes, that is a true statement. You, as a creator, are not, but your environment is limited. So what do you do with this contradictory nature? You figure out a tool to bring what you are conceiving into your limited environment in the most expansive way possible. Sometimes that's through art, creation, singing, dancing, cleaning your house, any of that stuff. It shifts your frequency in the right direction. It allows you to receive more cleanly from other frequencies. The lower side of your band is just loud. It's crowded and it's loud, right? The higher side of your band, like it's just, it's easier to receive, right? All right, Stephanie, I already forgot what I said. So this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything I have already said. Stephanie, my guides want you to understand that there's a period of self-evaluation that needs to happen as your frequency is starting to shift itself back and forth, right? There's some overcommitment as if you've overextended yourself in some place, and they want you to pull back a little bit. Make sure you're replenishing your energy. Make sure you're giving yourself time to recharge like you need to and not just pushing through things. My guides are telling me there's a lot of healing that's going on in your space, and this can make things feel a little unstable. Irresponsibility is the wrong word for this. It's unstableness is the feeling. It can make the ground under your feet feel a little bit wobbly. But friend, this is part of you moving forward into something better for you. It brings you into the next phase of your awakening experience where you will welcome in a brighter future. The butterflies are significant for change, but they're asking for your patience as you work your way through these little things. Continue to work on the pieces that you are releasing, fostering that sense of self, right? The more you allow this feeling to grow inside of you, the more you see evidence of it outside of you, right? But you have to be the one to make the choice to stick here, because you are literally working your way through some deeply rooted things that have told you you have to stay here, while your crown is calling you in the other direction saying, no, you don't, right? Ego is not the enemy. It's like an overprotective mother. We just have to remind the ego that we are okay and safe, that we don't have to do these things, right? That we're okay. Stephanie, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Well, thank you, friend. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here to watch the live. If you're watching the replay, the next live will be Thursday, December the 18th. So keep that in mind. Then I won't be doing any more lives until after Christmas. This is the easiest, most cost-efficient way for you to get a reading from me. Private readings are they don't look anything like this. If you come to a private reading with me, the best advice I can give you is write down every question you have. Write down every question you have. Oh, a second Stephanie. Stephanie N, I see you. And then I'll start by asking you, my first question is going to be, how can I help you today? You start by asking a question. I can almost guarantee with 100% certainty that we will answer every question on that list in some way, even if you don't say it. That's how these sessions work. They're inspired conversation. It is very difficult for me to do a session where you come in and sit down and say, what do you want to tell me? What do you want to know? I don't work like that. I'm not someone who's just going to be able to access your energy. The more conversation we have, the more I get from you, right? This is just a way to sort of tap that gap, right? When you have me face to face, this is a waste of your time. Utilize this, right? So come into the session with your questions. This is a good, it's like, I call it the down and dirty, right? It's a quick and easy way to access something from your guides, but it's not something that I can do for 50 minutes. This is a 5-minute thing, right? Robin, you are up, friend. I love your name. That's my daughter's name. I actually have a tattoo of a robin to represent her. See? I even spelled it with a Y. Come on down, Robin. You are up next. After Robin is Melissa, Crystal, Alana, and then Stephanie N. List is still open, so if you would like a reading, there's plenty of time. I got my sweater off of TikTok. Oh, I love that. Stephanie, thank you. All right, Robin, come on down. Say hello. If your display name is not Robin, make sure you let me know who you are so I have the right person. Hi, Audra. Welcome. Somebody's got a lot of tension in their neck. Hi, Robin. There you are. I see you. All right, Robin, 8707. All right, Robin, when I come into your energy, it's really interesting. It starts out with this sort of heavy sigh. I think it was your shoulders I'm feeling, this heavy sigh, as if I have to get up for another day. I have to do another thing, right? There's this weight on your shoulders and it feels like I can physically feel it in my body. And when I tap into your energy, the first thing I want to do is just sigh, as if I feel almost helpless or helpless about a lot of things happening around me. And there's something else tangled up in this helplessness, almost guilt, like how I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is a similar feeling to people who have had someone who's passed on. How am I supposed to get on with my life? How am I supposed to enjoy my life if this person is suffering or suffered or they're gone, right? What makes me better that I'm allowed to enjoy the rest of my life? Like, this is guilt that comes up after someone's passed, or if someone is ill, or if you see a lot of people suffering. There's a lot of this guilt that's going around, and I understand it. I get it. It doesn't make you a bad person because your life isn't in shambles, right? And I think where we get tangled up, where humanity gets tangled up, is that someone will lash out at you because they are in a spot that is so incredibly uncomfortable and they can't see a way out of it, and they see you. And when you tell them something like, well, you have to think positive or make a step or do something, they'll lash out at you because where they are, they literally can't see that. They cannot perceive that. And I understand that I want to help, I want to give direction, I'm offering help, and no one's, or something like that. But I need you to understand that the most powerful thing you can do is just broadcast. Don't broadcast to an audience, just broadcast. Be the change you want to see in the world. To copy a very popular phrase, tune yourself to the frequency that you want to feel and then just match it. And don't worry about if anyone else likes it or doesn't like it. Obviously, if it's something that irritates a special person in your life, then there's some conversations that need to be had. Why does it irritate this person in your life? What's going on there? Is it really what you're doing, or is it their circumstances that are irritating them? Because 9 times out of 10, it's their circumstances. I feel like you are holding yourself back. I don't know the right words, but I'm going to do my best to pick these words out. I feel like you're holding yourself back from enjoying the fullness of your life experience in several different areas, simply because you either feel guilty or you feel like you haven't earned it. It's a similar feeling. And there's this feeling of, if I do this, then that makes me, I don't want to say a bad person, but I have that feeling of like when people used to say, don't be conceited, don't think you're so much better than me, like that feeling. Right, there's too many of these bullies in your head. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Sometimes people are going to say that, but that's only because they don't know how to interact with your frequency, right? That's on them, not you. Hello. So the feeling here is, don't dim your light. Be the light. And if it irritates some people, you can kindly invite them to find a place that doesn't irritate them, but do not turn your light down. Because what happens is they remove themselves from the place and they notice the absence of the light. So then they want to ask you, how did you get that light? And here they come right back to your space. This is how it works. You have to allow them to make the choice. You have to allow them to want to change. You cannot change anyone for them. You cannot manifest for someone else. You cannot do it. We have free will. It's impossible. It would break the laws of nature, and it's not going to happen. But you can show them the way. You can give them the directions and the blueprints and all the stuff, but you have to stand back and let them do it. And I feel like if you can recognize this and just let all this happen for you and stop feeling so bad about it, you'll stop holding yourself back, and things will actually change for the better, and stop feeling so like stuck. Like, I feel like I'm looking like I'm running up against a speed bump, and I'm like, why? But it's because my eyes are closed. If I just open my eyes and realize the speed bump is this big, and just step over it. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. Boy, I hope that made sense. Robin, this is what my guides have to say. 44 in the room. I love the confirmation. I hope it made sense. Robin, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. You have to allow yourself to just be who you are, and you have to stop feeling guilty or like you need to prove it or earn it. You don't. The Wheel of Fortune has already spun around. It's facing in your direction, but you have to put in some inspired action. It's not just going to land in your lap. And this is going to take a lot of patience on your end, because you're going to have to learn to release these old ideas that we've just been talking about, I'm assuming. My guides tell me this literally is a new horizon for you. So it feels scary, it feels unknown, but it only feels that way because it's unknown, right? So have the discipline to stand strong in the light that is you, to keep up your alignment. And what happens is you start to resonate with the path that you've been looking for. It's not that it's hidden from you, it's that your frequency doesn't match, right? So this brings about the Death card, and a transition comes forward in your energy. Things start to change, but belief is going to be your strongest catalyst. So light the fuse of belief. Step forward into this feeling of victory. I did it. Celebrate the ownership of this, right? Start making better decisions, right? Especially when it comes to the way you feel and trying to like origami yourself into somebody else's expectations. I'm sorry, I don't bend that way. This is the next phase of your awakening experience, friend. Good morning, Chrissy. Robin, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you. I hope it was helpful. Thank you, thank you. You guys, I got these candles from these people. It's called Four Winds Candle Company. I've got it burning in here. It smells so incredibly good. Hi. They make their own, I keep wanting to say ceramic, cement vessels. And the vessel smells like the candle. And then they even give you these instructions on how to use the container again, how to get all the wax out and reuse the container, and it'll hold the smell of the candle. I mean, I freaking love them. They smell so good. It reminds me of your candles, actually. All right. Robin, thank you again. I truly appreciate you, and I hope it was helpful. Hello from Freddie, Florida. I love that. It's called Four Winds Candle Company. Four Winds Candle Company. They were super nice. They just sent a gift. They didn't ask me to make a video. They just sent a gift. They said, we appreciate you. Here's a little gift. And I'm very appreciative for the gift. I know, it's really beautiful. They come in many different sizes, right? So here's the little one. Here's the one that's burning. Right? And then they even sent me 2 little replacements for the little one. Like a melon summer. These both smell like summer to me. It's beautiful. They're really they're great candles. All right, I gotta get on track. Melissa, you are up, my friend. I know you're in here. Say hello. Hello. Does that say Cassie? Hello. Hi, hi. A black blob? Is it my chair? I don't know. Crazy how people just disappear. Right? Melissa, you are up. Come on down, friend. I really think this is going to be the perfect shirt for Florida. Like, I have a t-shirt under this, but when I'm in Florida, I'm just going to wear a tank top under it. Freaking love it. Freaking love it. Hello, Melissa. There you are. Melissa in the house. I love it. I just heard the phrase smooth like butter in my head, Melissa. Okay. Things look good, friend. Your energy's smooth. It looks good. I feel like I'm literally seeing all these images that remind me of smoothness. Like they're showing me a milkshake, like looking down in the blenders, things are mixing together. Things are moving nicely in your energy. You're on a good track. There's no need for you to question. Here's part of the issue with your energy, and I'm just going to dive right in, Melissa, and here she comes. All right, so some of the things you're working on in your energy, Melissa, part of your karmic balance is you need to learn that silence is okay. That just because nothing's happening doesn't mean mean nothing's happening, right? Everything happens on the inside first. All the changes, all the vibrational shifts, everything has to happen on the inside first. So when things on the outside of you are quiet, it's not an indication that something's wrong or bad. Your nervous system is trained in such a notice all the time that when it's quiet, your brain is looking for something to fill the silence because that's what it's trained to look for. Friend, you don't have to worry about things. You have to give yourself permission to enjoy the quiet. This is a productive time. This is where things are shifting on the inside of you, where your frequency is modulating itself to the other end of the spectrum for you. This is where reception comes in most clearly. It's after receiving the downloads that you see the physical change, and people forget that, right? So we're not going to forget that, right, Melissa? Your energy is active, it's stable, it's relatively balanced. I mean, you go in and out of balance all day long based on what you are focused on, but you're doing a good job of keeping yourself as balanced as possible during the day without letting other things bother you. There is this sense, though, of something in a kitchen. Something in a kitchen, a conversation in a kitchen. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Oh, Melissa. Something going on. There's too many cooks in the kitchen. And I feel as though this is your kitchen. Everybody has an opinion about something. You do not need to take any of their opinions, and you can be kind and tell them no thank you, right? Find a kind way to do it, but tell people no thank you. If, especially, like I have a friend who's having a surgery today. Every person she's talked to who's had this surgery told this person their worst story, their worst possible outcomes from that surgery, right? When she and I had this conversation, and I've had this surgery, I told her the relief I felt. I told her how quick my recovery was. I told her how things changed for me. And she said, you know how much of a fresh breath it is to hear that from somebody? Because everybody wants to talk about all the hard stuff. Friend, what you put out is what you get back. You have to stop telling yourself that something's wrong just because your energy is quiet or still, or you're not seeing catastrophes outside of you. If you're feeling that unease inside of you, it's an indication of a frequency shift. Go into your meditative state, calm your energy down into theta so that it can actually integrate itself into your space and not fight against it, right? These are all indications of movement, but you have to allow yourself to sit in the silence. Melissa, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. Hopefully, my guides want you to understand you are in a state of spiritual growth. You're working on things on the inside that create a vision starting to come forward, bringing up all the little inspirations. You don't have to do every inspiration you have. You don't have to follow every rabbit hole, but follow at least some of them. See where they take you. My guides tell me this is an opportunity for you to celebrate, to have a joyous occasion, and to come back to the place where you actually feel a sense of fulfillment and belonging. My guides tell me you are in a state of expansion. I understand that things may look quiet outside of you, but they're not quiet inside of you. There's shifts happening on cellular and energetic levels. Be calm. A feeling of resolution rises to the surface, and there's this feeling of third eye connection, right? I'm seeing more clearly here, so why isn't it happening out here? Because it's all changing in here, right? Ooh, my ears just popped. This is the next phase of your awakening experience, friend, and it requires you to sit down and have discipline with yourself. This is where we cultivate a feeling of inner peace. Ooh, Melissa, that sounded like it was spicy. I hope it was helpful. Melissa, thank you very, very much. I know, I can't believe this year is over already. Hello. I'm so excited to go to Florida. I cannot believe the synchronicity. I just can't. So yesterday, I mean, I hate to stall because people have paid for the readings, but yesterday on my live in TikTok, I said, my husband is at this teeter-tottering edge where like a lot of people, he's painfully aware that he's uncomfortable in his life where he is. And he knows that it's the situation that he's in. It's not his family. It's everything around him. Like he's recognizing, I go to work, I come home, I go to bed, I go to work, I come home, I go to bed. And he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And he feels that discomfort, but he's not yet able to see a clear passage to the other side. Friends, like manna from heaven, I think I found a way. Right? And it literally dropped in like inspiration in the middle of a live yesterday. I wrote it down on my calendar. here next to me. I wrote it down to go email this company and see what comes up. And oh my gosh, I actually heard back from them. Girl. So my husband's in the union. He is a glazer. If you don't know what that is, it's big glass. He's been in the union for 20 years. He is a he wants to be a teacher. He always wanted to be a teacher. He has a degree and he wants to be a teacher. He has all these great certifications, but the teaching program in Illinois doesn't have openings. When they had an opening, he was interviewed, and the only reason he didn't get the position is because someone with more seniority also interviewed. We want to relocate to Florida by my mom. So what did I do? I got on, I said, well, let's look up and see what the union trade school is like down in Florida. And I found the name of the guy running the program, and I emailed him, and all I said was, hey, my husband and I are considering relocating to Florida. These are his qualifications. I'm just asking if there's a possibility there's an opening for an instructor in your area. If not, no big deal. I'm just curious. He emailed me back. He said, please call me. Here's my number. It's my cell phone. So I'm going to call him later today, and we're going to see where this goes. See what I'm saying? Inspired action, friends. Crystal, you are next. Come on down and say hello. I froze. Yeah, we're going to see. I'm going to call, but he emailed me back. If he wasn't interested, why would he email me back and send me his cell phone? You know? Hello, Crystal. I see you, Miss Crystal Anderson. I see you. Jeanette, you are on the list, friend. Yeah. It's alignment. I love it when people say that's amazing, but I feel like that puts it out of reach. It's not. It's just alignment. The frequency lined up, Jeanette. And I followed it. That's all I did, right? That's what alignment looks like. You can be on the list. Readings are $25. Venmo and PayPal are available to you. All right, Crystal, let's see. There you are, Crystal Anderson. I got you. Hello, hello. All right, Crystal. I love your name. As I'm coming into your energy, the first thing your guides, I don't know if it's your guides or my guides, probably mine because I'm a nerd, are showing me Superman's palace. For those who are unfamiliar, Superman has an ice palace built of crystals, right? That came from Krypton where he was a child. And it looks like ice, so it's in the north or the Arctic, but it's not ice, it's crystals. When I look at you, Crystal, this is the first image I was given. The thing that comes through with this, and again, we choose our names purposely, is there's something about inherent information. Like all the crystals in Superman's palace have encoded information, and he can put them in this little reader, and it'll project a hologram of whomever, and they will give him lessons, right? This is how he learned all the things that he learned. There's some kind of hidden information in you, Crystal, and I feel like you just need the right reading apparatus. I think you feel this, don't you? This feels like a stirring down in your solar plexus. I know there's something to this. It's that feeling of knowing that you're starting to put the pieces together, but you can't see the whole thing just yet. I know that feeling very well, my friend, and you're on to something. I can't give you the answer because part of the journey is learning the answer yourself. This is empowerment. If I give you the answer, it's not powerful. Right? But friend, I want to confirm for you, you're absolutely on the edge of something. It's like you're circling around and you're getting close. You're circling around, you're getting closer and closer and closer to the center of that spiral. And then you're going to step back and go, oh, I see it. This is encoded information that you brought with you into this incarnation. It feels to me that there's a tool that needs to be used for you to unlock this. And I'm not sure what that means specifically. That can be anything from looking into your numerology to human design, astrology, whatever you feel called to. Not what someone else tells you, what you feel called to. Utilize that tool, plug in and see what information comes from there, because it feels like it starts to put the pieces together a little bit more quickly. And it's, if you've had astrology readings before and stuff, I understand, but this is something different. This is a different level. And I feel like because you are lined up frequency wise to receive the information will be different or expanded, perhaps. Maybe not different, but expanded. I don't do astrology. I don't do numerology. If you want a recommendation, I can certainly give you one. Human design, her name is Maureen Webb. She does something called the Soul Star, which is amazing. If you like numerology, Larissa, Goddess Giving Numerology is amazing. These are tools that you have that you can access, but there's something about encoded hidden knowledge. And I feel like you're on the edge of pulling it out, but you just need like a microscope, not a microscope, but a magnifying glass, like to see it. It's there. It's like me trying to read something without my reading glasses on. Like, that's a joke. It's that feeling. Just pick up the microscope or pick up the you know what I'm saying. All right, Crystal, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They want to confirm your intuition is right, friend. You're right. You're absolutely right. That feeling you have that you're circling around something, you're absolutely right. I can't tell you what it is because you have to follow the inspiration to go down the trail and figure it out. But they want you to know you're much closer than you think you are. So don't give up now. Don't get frustrated now. Be excited about all the things you're learning because they're literally leading you into a brighter future. Right now, you're just going through the part that requires you to buckle down and do it. Right? There's an opening and expansion in your third eye that is leading to a sense of liberation and the beginning of some sort of journey, as if you're pulling the pieces together for a map of some kind to show you the next steps to take. It's right there. It's right there. Utilize some tool. There's a feeling of pulling together some tool to gain this information, and it'll bring forward a sense of inner peace. That inner peace is what's going to allow you to move forward into the frequency. The disharmony you feel is simply because you can feel the difference between where you are and where you're going. It's not bad. It's just a signal of where you're going. I have to point this out. 44 people in the room and 44 likes as you're getting your reading. Just want you to know, Crystal. Crystal, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. We are wanting to move back to Florida, totally feeling inspired. Yes, do it. Do it. There's so many different ways to do it, right? Yes, if you haven't already, please go out and subscribe to my channel. YouTube enables me to do stuff like this. You guys, my goal, it costs you nothing to watch my videos on YouTube, but I earn revenue from that simple act. It literally doesn't cost you a dime, but I earn revenue from that. Regardless if you have YouTube Premium or regular, I earn revenue from that. The simplest way to support me is through YouTube. If I can get my YouTube to a certain threshold, I can do these readings for free, you guys. That's my goal, is to do these for free. Right? Like if I didn't have bills to pay, I wouldn't have to do this, right? I'm working on it. But the easiest way to support me is to subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch my videos, share it with someone if you feel called to, but you don't have to. But if I can get this YouTube channel to a certain threshold, I can do these for free, you guys, and that is the goal. That is the ultimate goal. All right. Alana like banana, you are up next. I keep wanting to say Alana and then I heard banana. No, it's Alana like banana. Do you guys remember? Yes, TikTok could go away. We have no idea what's going on with TikTok. It's a hot burning mess. My creator rewards went down by 400%. My video views went up, but my rewards went down. TikTok is phasing America out, you guys. When's the last time you saw a video from any other country? Have you noticed that? They're phasing America out hardcore. All right, Alana, I am excited to read for you. I see you. Hey. Hey, girl, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love it. Ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. Out the door. That's what I heard. Alana, you're ready, my friend. What are you waiting for? When I come into your energy, it immediately starts talking to me. It's like I'm standing here. Okay, so the imagery I'm getting, I'm in the house. For those of you who have not seen me read, I get repeated images and they represent certain things. If I see you in a house, it represents your comfort zone. This is where I find you, Alana. But you're standing in the doorway. This is so exciting. The door being open is a signal that your energy is open to moving forward. Finding you in the doorway, on the porch, are mean different things, but it's always progression forward. You are in the threshold. It's like you're rocking back and forth between inside, outside, inside, outside. Inside, I'm very warm and comfortable and feel good, but I'm not super inspired. Outside, it's a little uncomfortable. It's a little chilly out here, but boy, am I inspired to get moving. Inside, I'm very comfortable and warm and stuff. Outside, very inspired. There's this subtle back and forth in your energy, my friend. I understand. But something I want you to remember is you don't have to build Rome today. Small steps will still win the race, right? Remember the turtle in the hair? Remember all the allegories you've been told. It's okay to go slow. I understand that when you think about a year from now, that in this moment, that feels very far away. I 100% acknowledge that to you. But when you think about 1 year ago, think how fast that feels like it went. Time is perceptual. Okay? Because you have a goal or something you want to do, it feels very far away. But once you get there, it'll feel like time flew by. So if you can recognize that time is perceptual, you can train yourself into seeing yourself where you want to be. Your physical body does not know the difference between the signals that your brain are sending out, right? So when you visualize, put yourself where you want to be a year from now. For me, what that looks like is every single morning I meditate. Every single morning I meditate. 0 days do I skip on this because I am that important to me. Every single morning I meditate. I heard Joe Dispenza say to somebody one time, if you really thought meditating would change your life, you would do it every day. So if you're not doing it every day, do you really not think it's helping you? Just saying. So it doesn't have to take hours. I do a Reiki, the same Reiki meditation every single day by Reiki Rachel every morning. And in that space, she gives you the opportunity to visualize. And every day I go to the same place. I visualize myself in the same beautiful backyard that I want to have one day. And I've built that place up, and that's where I go every day. I've trained my brain to understand that that's a real place. I just haven't found it geographically yet. There's a big difference between can't and not yet. What words are you using in your own language? What magic are you weaving into your own vibration? How are you holding yourself back? Let's not do that. Alana, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. My guides are asking you to please be a little bit more compassionate for yourself. You have a big, open, beautiful heart, and you're so kind to everybody else. But when it comes to you, that's where you're the harshest. That's where you're the hardest. That's where you push back the most. That's where you argue with yourself the most, is when it comes to you. Put some of that energy back in your direction. This opens the door for the next phase of your awakening experience, but you have to let go of your reluctance to do that. Okay? My guides want you to understand that this may take a little bit of evaluation of yourself, looking at some of the behaviors and habits that you have, right? But they also tell me that this opens up your dreams and desires and brings them much closer at hand than you might think they are. Although introspection feels scary because you have to take accountability for your own actions, no matter how small, the impact can be large, and it can be scary to say, well, maybe I'm the problem in my world. That Taylor Swift song, hey, hi, I'm the problem, it's me, right? Yeah. See the truth of your situation and recognize you are more powerful than you've given yourself credit for. This opens up the potential for the frequency for you to align with, and opens the door for you to step into a new role for yourself. My goodness. Alana, thank you. All right. Sorry, I had to take care of that. Alana, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, friend. I appreciate it. And I certainly hope it was helpful. Hi, Rachel. Rochelle. I'm sorry. Right. Good morning, Rochelle. All right. Here we go. What a great day, you guys. These readings have been fantastic. I'm really feeling in the flow of energy. This feels like a shift in my frequency. It feels good. I've got even more white in my hair. Like, hello. Hello, wisdom stripes, right? Hello, wisdom. Good to see you. Maybe that's because I'm aligning with that version of me that's going to be in Florida. Literally, this couldn't be any better. It's the city closest to my mom where we wanted to live. And we're going there next week. And when I emailed him, I said, hey, we're going to be in Tampa next week. We could come by. We could talk about this. He could bring his resume. You could meet him. And I got, here's my cell phone. Please call me. All right, Stephanie, you are up next. Come on down and say hello. You guys, my list is open. List is wide open. So if you want a reading, come on down. Stephanie is up next. Jeanette is after Stephanie. After that, I've still got 8 spots available and plenty of time. Hello, friend. I had a QHHT session last week and curious what comes through. All right. Well, we'll see what comes up. It doesn't always have to do with that. You know, you can't. QHHT is like opening the door, right? It's very helpful. But don't put that pressure on me, girl. Don't put that pressure on me. All right, Stephanie, I'm excited to read for you. Jeanette is after Stephanie. After that, the list is open. If you want a reading, it's a good time to do one. All right, so Stephanie, as I come into your space, this is what I'm literally being shown. I'm being shown someone sitting at a desk kind of like me, but there's stacks of papers and maybe books all around. And the person is like holding the paper like I would be doing and going, I can't read this. And then all of a sudden, off frame, it's like someone hands me a pair of reading glasses and I go, oh, and I put them on and I go, oh, okay. There's this feeling of clarity coming to your space. They're showing it to me as if receiving a pair of glasses. You said you had a QHHT session. This could be aligning with that very much. Again, this is the lens through which you look. It changes the way things appear to you because you have a greater understanding of overall frequency, movement, and time in general. This gives you the lens through which to look. The lives you lived in your past may have bearing on where you are, but they do not control where you are. So be careful that you're not assigning that. And remember, your past lives are not you. You did not make those decisions. It was not you. It is a different fragment of your higher self, like twins, similar but separate. Keep that in mind. I feel like there's this needing you to understand that there's no need for you to reach outside of this life experience to feel a sense of connection or expansion. Expansion's already happening here. Those glasses are helpful, but if you notice, they're not the books. They're just the glasses. You already had all the books. I understand that it's helpful, and I'm happy that you did it, and it feels good to connect to that bigger piece of you, and there's this joyful celebration, but this feeling of don't be feeling like that's what gave you this connection, because it's not. It may have been the avenue of least resistance for you on that day and that time, but it is not where the information came from. It did not give you anything except maybe a pair of glasses to recognize that you have all of this knowledge all around you, my friend. There's a lot of feeling of wisdom in your space. The word wisdom specifically comes to mind. This is a term that is borrowed from the Wheel of Time series. Rebecca, I see you. This is a phrase that is borrowed from the Wheel of Time. Someone who is a wisdom is someone who can utilize the elements around them to create understanding through different things, right? This is something you have access to. Maybe these glasses helped open that door. I don't know. But I also think that there's something beyond just this. Like maybe there's an idea or an interest that sparked in that conversation that you had. Something about going deeper, looking deeper. Again, I'm seeing ink pens, like quilled ink pens and regular ink pens, and I feel as though now things are in focus, which is a good feeling. I just can't read it. I, Erin, cannot read it from where I am because it wasn't written for me, right? So, but there is the feeling of having glasses and receiving clarity. I wish I could tell you what it was. It just feels like there's a lot of information in the space. Where you focus is what you're going to learn, right? So you can focus from this pile and learn all about that, or you can focus from this pile and learn all about that. What I'm being shown is you have all of the piles, right? It's not something you have to go and find. It's just something you have to utilize. And it feels as though it's a feeling of remembering, not learning, right? Oh, I have this pile of books on my table. Let me see what's in there. Oh, I forgot I wrote that however long ago, right? Like there's that feeling of remembering, not learning. I want you to be careful. I feel very inclined, and I hate to say this because I feel like I'm being rude, of wanting you to understand that the QHHT session you had, while very valuable, and I 100%, Erin especially is a huge fan of this, okay? I want you to be careful that you don't assign it more power over than it has. It did not do anything to you. It simply gave you the glasses to see what you already had. And while that is a valuable tool, it is easy, and I see this happen a lot, where people get confused and they think I have to have that in order to do this. That connection to your higher self is always available to you. All that QHHT session did was quiet your conscious mind so you could hear it. Now you know the potential of the conversation you could have with the unconscious self, right? Now that you know that, you can practice yourself into realms where you don't need that practitioner. And I think that's what's trying to be conveyed here, is you have all the information. You don't necessarily need it. While it's fun and happy and all wonderful things, it's just a reminder that it's already there. You can access this. And I feel like I need to convey that to you. And I feel like I've said it so many times, I'm tired of saying it. Stephanie, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. My guides are asking you to focus on the things that you have learned from that session, right? Focus on the things that you have learned from that session. They want you to understand it is part of your progress, but it is not the driver of your progress. You have all the tools you need. You've pulled everything together. It's all on your desk. All this did was give you the freedom to pick up the glasses and read it, right? So the restlessness that you are feeling is because you're closer to where you're going than where you've been, and you are in alignment more often than not. The restlessness is not a sign of being out of alignment. It's a sign of frequency shift. When you have those feelings of restlessness, if you can go into meditation, it will allow you to calm your energy to theta state and integrate the energy instead of feeling restless. Don't feed the insecurities that the restlessness tends to bring up. Think of it like a vibration plate. That restlessness is literally shaking off all the little dirt that's on there. Sometimes that feels like insecurities. Instead of giving power to the insecurity, give power to the restlessness. Go into your meditation and integrate that shit and get rid of it, right? My guides tell me this is a lesson in self-sufficiency for you. You are learning to do this on your own. That whole speech I just gave you feels like it's related to this. So lean towards that creative vision. Lean in that direction. You have all the tools you need to help you move forward. There are people and tools, opportunities, everything around there. The biggest problem is you, and this feeling of not wanting you to get caught up in the idea that it has to come from something outside of you. All it needs is a little bit of introspection. That's it. Jamie, I see you. All it needs is a little bit of introspection. This leads to the Wheel of Fortune spinning around in your direction and getting things moving in the right direction for you. The Wheel of Change here, right? Wheel of Fortune is spun around and it says, I've got your back, my friend. Let's do this with purpose, right? That's very exciting. Very exciting. Stephanie, thank you so much. Oh, well, thank you, friend. I appreciate that. Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy and your patience with me. I appreciate you, and I hope that was helpful. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. It is very healing. I have had 3 QHHT sessions. I absolutely recommend them, hands down. They are fantastic, wonderful tools for growth. The thing I see happening over and over with my clients, though, is they start to think that they need the tool to access the information, and that's a lie or a fallacy. And anyone who tells you that is not in your best interest, right? The tool is great to give you the realization that it's available to you. Oh, you mean I can do this? But the purpose of the tool is to give you the realization and to allow you the space to access this on your own, right? It's not about you should always need this. That's dependence, not independence, right? So to keep that in mind, I do absolutely highly recommend them, but just keep the purpose in mind, right? All right, Jeanette, you are up next. Come on down, friends, and say hello. I'm so excited to read for you. Hello and happy holiday season. You have a headache today? Oh, you had a headache for days after. Oh, I understand. I can understand that. Hi, Jeanette. You are up. It's your turn. I got you. Jen Star 54. I love it. I'm seeing things. All right, Jen. Do you go by Jen? No, Jeanette. You don't go by Jen. All right, Jeanette, here we go. After Jeanette is Rebecca and then Jamie. All right, so Jeanette, as I come into this space, the first thing I'm picking up on is a smell of like soil, dirt. That's a good smell for me. It reminds me of being outside. It reminds me of working in the dirt. I'm not necessarily someone who enjoys gardening, but I can appreciate it, right? And it has that smell of fresh turned soil or freshly turned over soil. There's a very grounded element to your energy. There's a lot of green in it, but it's beyond just the healing element of the heart. It's the green of Gaia being reflected, right? There's a connection between you and Gaia that's very, very strong. This life incarnation for me came forward. It looks to me like you have a pretty strong contract with Gaia in that you knew she was going to be going through her own ascension and you said, I'll come help you. Yeah, we'll play in that sandbox together. That doesn't always make it easy, right? And we forget that when we get here. But the reason you feel things so profoundly is because you're kind of like a lightning rod. So as Gaia is expanding and the energy is stretching out in her, inside of her and around her, and she's receiving energy and purging energy, there are lots and lots of people like you around the whole globe that are kind of like lightning rods to help diffuse this energy, right? Instead of getting struck with a big block of energy, Mother Gaia receives it through her people, through us, through her children, right? And also her children help transmute the energy of Gaia as she is releasing. So having these big emotional swings is something that I see with people with this energetic pattern, okay? There's a feeling of having some control over this, but not a lot of control over this. Almost like I know it's there, but I haven't really worked with it yet kind of feeling. Friend, I think if you put some effort into this, you can actually utilize this and harness this energy to help build your energetic practices, whatever that might look like. I am not someone to suggest you need to learn Reiki, you need to learn this. I think it's helpful, but I think it's limited. So, but I do feel like the more you tap into your environment, the more you have physical feet on the ground, the more you can breathe some fresh air, the more you have that ionization in the air around you that happens with movements of water. That's that smell, you guys. Did you know that? That's ionization of air. The more you have that in your space, the better you're going to feel. Obviously, most people feel better like that, but you in particular are going to feel better because it helps your energy circulate. You're not intended to hold everything. You're intended to be a channel for movement of energy. And that can be difficult because you feel everything on an exponential scale. Especially, I imagine the Schumann especially must affect you. And it's not that the Schumann is the energy, but the measurement of the Schumann must actually have a pretty profound effect on you. And it may be different than the way it affects me, and that's okay. But I can see that connection. I can see that sort of channel in there. All right, Jeanette, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I have already said. This is what my guides want you to understand. You have this beautiful creative vision, but there's this feeling of I have to sacrifice myself for the betterment of others. It's not about that. It's about working together. It's about balance, right? So these big emotions you feel, while yes, maybe you're helping to transmute them, you aren't meant to carry them on your own, right? So going outside and getting rid of them through grounding or whatever it is you do for yourself, there's this sense of not wanting you to bottle it up and hold it, but allow it to transmute through you. Literally let go of what you're holding on to. Just because you were taught that you have to carry the weight of the world doesn't mean it was right. Right? This is one of your karmic lessons is about empowerment. And of course, karma is not about you are bad, you need to learn a lesson. Karma is about balance. So in this life experience, you are learning the balance of empowerment in your life. You're learning to step up, and sometimes that's very difficult. But I want to remind you, you're the one driving the car, quite literally. And wherever you decide you want to go, that's where you can go, even though it may take some time. My guides want to remind you that you are more in balance than out of balance most of the time, and that sometimes you need to do a little bit of introspection to figure out what your balance looks like, not what someone else tells you it looks like. This opens you up to receiving more cleanly from your crown and helps you to recognize that the balance is inside all along. My guides are acknowledging there's a feeling of hardship in your space. Hey, thank you. My guides are acknowledging there's a little bit of a feeling of hardship in your space, but they want you to know this is only because you're just about to go somewhere you haven't been before. So if you guys have never heard me say this, every manifestation casts a shadow. Within that shadow zone are all your insecurities about whatever that manifestation is. That you've told yourself you have. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if I can do it. All these things you've told yourself, right? So as you're getting closer and closer to the physical manifestation of something, the shadow aspects get louder because you have to get rid of them. You can't attain the frequency that you want while holding on to a frequency that doesn't match, right? So they get more and more intense until you let them go. And I feel like that's kind of where you are, but you're stepping into something better. Jeanette, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Cheryl, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I hope it was helpful. Readings are $25. Venmo and PayPal are available to you through the link in my bio, Linktree, or Venmo and PayPal are available to you through the link in my bio or in the link in the description for this video. Or you can look me up, Consciously Erin, on both platforms. Jeanette, thank you. Rebecca, you are next, friend. Come on down and say hello. Rebecca, you are next. How do I do what spiritually? Are you judging me? Careful. Careful of the rocks you throw. Rebecca, come on down and say hello. You are next. After Rebecca is Jamie. After Jamie, the list is open. Psyche. Okay. Should I call you Psyche or Psych? What should I call you? Is that what you want me to call you? So I don't read the future. I'm reading potential. That's all I'm reading is energy. You're Rebecca Psyche. Okay, so do you want me to call you Rebecca? Do you want me to call you Psyche? Do you want me to call you Becca? Like Psyche. All right. All right, Psyche, I am excited to read for you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it. All right. All right, so Psyche, when I look at your energy, I have to be honest with you, your signal is cloudy. I'm struggling to get a very clear read. It feels like there's a lot of noise, okay? When I'm coming into your energy, it's like walking into a room that has 600 TVs and they're all tuned to different stations and they're all playing at the highest volume. It's very scattered, right? There's a feeling of chaos and disorganization in the first layers of your energy. When the first layers of your energy are like this, it skews your frequency and it shifts your like range from here back down to here. And the things on this end tend to feel heavier, right? They're moving slower. They tend to feel heavier, right? There's a lot of this heaviness sort of sitting in the bottom of your frequency as if waiting to be addressed. But I think all the noise is kind of keeping it from coming to the surface or keeping you from addressing it. I don't know what the noise might represent, but a lot of times what it tends to represent are a lot of opinions from other people on what you should be doing. And I see this sometimes with people who have asked a lot of people, let's just say you want to move. Let's say that's the thing. And you say, oh, I want to move. But instead of being confident in that and you ask, should I move? Should I move? Should I move? Every one of those people that you've asked has just planted doubt in your energy because you've just reinforced the fact that you don't trust yourself, right? And there's this feeling in your energy of wanting you to sort of do this with all of this outside of you. And if you can do that, I think whatever answer, whatever clarity you're looking for is already there. I just think you have the volume turned up on everyone except you. And often, and I'm not saying it's you specifically, but often this behavior tends to come from people who grew up in a space that was not necessarily conducive to wanting to hear your opinion, wanting you to do what they want. So, you know, I'm not trying to throw stones or insinuate anything, but that's just a pattern that I tend to see. Because there's so much loud chaos in your head, I think, or in your energy space up here, I think it's making it hard to receive with clarity what's already being offered to you. What I'm asking you to do, or what I'm telling you that I think is best for you, again, another opinion, is to quiet all those voices and to listen to you. A trick that I learned in school in my undergraduate degree is if you have a decision to make and you cannot make that decision, get yourself a coin and assign the two possibilities to either side. Flip that coin, and before you move your hand, do not look at that coin, but before you move your hand, what is it that you hope it is in that split second? Because that is your intuition talking to you. Because your intuition will never speak to you through fear. It will never speak to you through anger or frustration. It will speak to you through joy, hope, inspiration, love, all those things. So that feeling of hope that you have, that's your intuition speaking to you. The coin is irrelevant. Okay? And I feel like there's so much noise around you that you're being asked to refocus inward just a bit, okay? This is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else you have already said. My guides are telling me that you are in an active state of expansion, but that there is so much noise that it's feeding all of your insecurities and it's causing a sense of disharmony in your energy. You are being asked to silence those voices and listen instead to yourself, understanding that sometimes this makes you feel a little bit unstable because you have been conditioned that your opinion doesn't matter, even when it comes to you. So this is your opportunity to fix that. My guides tell me there's a little bit too much control trying to happen in this space. It's not about needing to know how things are going to turn out. It's about taking each thing one thing at a time and seeing where it goes. There's a lot of loud voices around you that are not helpful, and you're being asked to turn inward and focus on your voice instead. This will help you to make better decisions and not make decisions that don't work out so much more. That's a weird way to say that. Not make decisions that aren't long term. I'm missing the word. Sustainable. This help you make better sustainable decisions. This is the next phase of your awakening experience, and this is what brings that feeling of abundance to your family, that feeling of stability to your family. This is what brings that. You, not something that saves you or any of that. It's you. Rebecca, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I hope it was helpful. I'm sorry, Psyche, help me. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, and I hope it was helpful, friend. Paul, I got your payment, and you are on the list. Jamie is next, and Paul is after that. After Paul, the list is open, so if you'd like a reading, it's a good time. Today and Thursday are the only 2 days until after Christmas that I will be live, so if you will want a reading, this is the time to do it. I actually think all of my private sessions between now and Christmas are booked, so this is where you'll find me if you want any kind of reading. Oh, I need to pull my hair back, but it gives me a headache. You know, like I don't know what's worse. All right, Jamie, you are up next. Say hello, friend. Come on down. You are next, Jamie. And then Paul is up after that. Ouch. Hi. Could use help with focus. Okay. Help with focus. Well, Jamie, it's kind of hard for me to tell you in this type of platform where to focus. That's kind of more of a conversation, but I'm happy to read your energy and tell you what I see, and then you can apply that however you might want to. But it's hard in a one-way conversation to do that. All right. Jamie, here we go. I see the problem. So Jamie, when I come into your energy, the first thing I see is a calendar. And it looks like it has a lot of little red marks all over it and lots of little check marks and lots of little stuff. And it's very crowded, right? And there's this feeling in my chest, like it's tight, like I have anxiety or like I cannot breathe or something. And I'm looking at this, right? I understand that it can be hard to believe me when I tell you this. But you are way too serious about whatever it is you're doing for you to bring any kind of forward momentum into your space. The reason you feel like you can't focus is because you've put a goal on yourself that is not lined up with where you actually are. And it's the conflict in there is causing you to think that it's impossible or you don't know how to get there or whatever. And that's not the case. You're not tuned correctly to receive that, right? Because you've told yourself it has to look a certain way. A lot of times, just being honest, a lot of times I see this with people who've assigned something like, I need to find a way to support myself or have a job doing what I love, right? And so because of the need that comes first, it makes it very difficult because you're coming from a place of lack. Just as a reminder to you and everyone else, law of attraction does not give two flying flips if you want it or don't want it. If you are focused on it and repeating it, you are going to get reflections of it. So if you're telling yourself, I need to find a job, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, you're saying that because you don't have it. So then you're giving yourself contradictory stuff, and law of attraction literally is like scattered to the wind. You have to find a better way to phrase what you want in a way that works with your frequency instead of splitting your frequency. So sometimes that's really hard at first, and I know that it feels very impractical when you have to find a way to support yourself. And if that's the issue, and I'm not saying it is, but for anyone in the room, if that's the issue, if you're like, I have to find a job, I don't have time to do this, then you're coming about this the very wrong way and it's not going to be successful. Find some other way to temporarily support yourself and take the pressure off of you. Because if you do it through the lens of pressure, it's not going to turn out in the way that you are seeing in your head. It's going to turn out in the way that society allows, or that your environment allows, for better words, right? I think you're too serious. I think you're too stressed about something and it's making you not see things clearly. I feel like you need to back away from whatever this is and take a breath, recenter yourself, and figure out what it is you want to feel every day. Start there. And don't do the thing that a lot of people do. Well, I don't want to be stressed out and I don't want to feel rushed. Great. Here, law of attraction. Can you bring me some more of this? Instead, what I would love for you to do is talk about how you want to feel. I love the feeling of waking up in the morning and having a full hour to do whatever I want. I love the feeling of freedom that comes with the idea that I can just travel on the drop of a hat. I love the feel. You've got to get momentum going in the other direction and stop taking the seriousness out of it. The side effect of alignment is often being able to support yourself in a monetary way. But if you come at it through that lens, which understandably so is how the physical world has trained you, it's not going to work. Because remember, this universe is dualistic in nature. If your physical world works one way, your metaphysical world will not work that way. And that's important for you to remember. And sometimes that's like brain origami, right? Like, what? You want me to not be a CPA for a hot second? I understand. But that's the purpose of this life now, isn't it? To experience your life through the joys and contrasts that are offered to you and the free will that you use to shape your environment. That is the purpose of your life, right? Jamie, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They are telling me you're trying to fit something very spiritual into a very material world, and they're telling me that it's building up in a sense of frustration in your energy. Instead, they're asking you to examine the heartbreak of this. They want you to examine the heartbreak of this. That's a very profound statement. The heartbreak of feeling like you have to find a way to do this that fits into this lens, rather than understanding that you can flow through who you are and be authentic. It's a conflict that our society, our environment has put in the space. Learning to navigate that is really, really hard. Literally, next card out tells me that this is part of your karmic journey, and that right now you just have a lot of weight down in that root chakra because it's bringing up some stuff for you to deal with. They're asking you to make the commitment to keep doing this thing and to find a way to do it in a joyful sense, to not do it from a sense of need, but a sense of enjoyment, right? And while this may take a little bit of work, it will absolutely bring you where you want to be. Sometimes stepping outside of your comfort zone is the best thing you can do for yourself, my friend. They want you to understand that there is abundance for your family, and while this may not mean you're going to win the lottery, it may definitely mean that you have everything you need in the moment that you need it to feel secure where you are. This is a sign of pure spiritual growth and a connection to your third eye, trying to usher you into a feeling of victory. This feeling of I did it, the ownership over the action is what they want you to recognize. Sometimes this takes a little bit more introspection than we're comfortable with, but it's what's going to get you there. Jamie, thank you so much. Jamie, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. I hope it was helpful. There's this person who made this comment, and I don't even care if you don't need to get rid of them, because they think they're insulting me, but they're not. And it's such a sad little thing to see. Like, just like, what? Like, how sad is it that that's what you think an insult is? How myopic and small is your world? God, it must be miserable. My heart is sad for you. So sad for you. All right, Paul, you're up next. Come on down. I'm excited to read for you. Thank you so much, Jamie, for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. Paul, you are up. After Paul, the list is open. So if you'd like a reading, come on down and say hello. I'm excited to be here for you. I've got a little bit of time left. After Paul, there's no wait. So that's nice. Please remember that the only other day I'm going to be live between now and the end of Christmas is Thursday. So if you wanted a reading, it's the time to do that. Hello, Brent. Paul. Into the blue. Into the blue. That's what I'm looking for. Into the blue. Paul, come on down. No, you do not need to have any kind of account with me unless you want a private reading. To do a private reading, you're going to need to go to my website and do it through that, because that is a whole different thing, right? Unfortunately, Apple Pay, I don't have Apple Pay set up. I'm sorry. But anyway, private readings are through my website, and that you do need to have an account for. Readings on here, these are public readings. All you need is a PayPal or Venmo account. That's it. Stuckness and letting go. Okay. Jeanette, I read for you like 5 spots back. If you're the same Jeanette, I literally read for you like 4 people ago. Christina, I see you. I'm not sure where you were, but I definitely read for you already. Well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. All right, Paul, I got you. All right, after Paul is Christina. After Christina, the list is open. Paul, as I tap into your energy, the very first thing I hear is you can't tell the same story and expect a different outcome. So, I mean, you said you wanted information on being stuck. Sorry if that's rude, but that's what I'm seeing, right? We have to remember everything is frequency. The words you speak matter because they affect your biosphere and the environment around you, your aura, if you want to call it that. Your aura is your broadcasting frequency. It shifts based on the environment you find yourself in, the things you're consuming, the things you're thinking about. All of that shifts this, right? If you are telling the same story, you cannot broadcast a different piece of music, okay? There is a feeling in your energy of needing to let go of an old story, needing to let go either of a definition, a behavior, or an old story that you are telling and using as, I dare say the word excuse, but using as a reason for something, okay? And I'm not saying this is it at all, but it would be like saying something like, I can't go to college because I'm 45. Two things can be true at the same time. Not being able to go to college is not because you're 45. Your perception may be that it's because you're 45, but that's not the reason. That's the excuse. And a lot of times the reason that's under those excuses is all about confidence in myself. I feel like I'm going to fail. I feel like there's going to be judgment. I feel like I'm going to have to explain myself. I feel like I've already done this before and I don't want to do it again, whatever it is. But I hate to be rude, and I'm sorry if I'm being rude, but there's this feeling of wanting you to understand that you have all the opportunity in the world to do something different, but you cannot tell the same story and expect a different outcome. It doesn't work that way. So whatever that story is, and sometimes it's subtle, right? Like you don't realize you're saying something, right? I'm depressed. Let's go with that one. I'm depressed. How many times have you heard someone say that? I'm depressed. You're not depressed. You are feeling depression. You are feeling sadness. You are feeling these things, but you are not depression. But when you label yourself as depression, your brain, again, doesn't know the difference between what you say and what you do. So when you label yourself as something like that, then it colors the world through which you see because your frequency is tuned down there. When you recognize that a feeling is transient, it is temporary, and when something's temporary, it can change. That's empowering. I am feeling depression is much less heavy than I am depressed, right? And I'm not saying that's what it is, and I'm not trying to be flippant about people who are experiencing depression because I know it's very heavy. But the words you use matter. The spells you cast matter, right? Paul, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I've already said. They're calling you out on this feeling of hesitation, like you have an excuse for something, and they're telling me that you've done a lot of work to get yourself aligned with whatever this is, and the reason you feel stuck is because you're telling yourself the same story. You literally have the opportunity to walk into a brand new beginning for yourself, but you have to let go of the story that you're telling. I don't know how much more confirmation you need, friend. They tell me this is going to require a little bit of self-evaluation on your end, but what it brings forward is a feeling of inner peace, a feeling of reliability, stability, all the good feels, right? My guides tell me things are changing and have the opportunity to change quickly for you. When they're asking you to embrace this, let go of your frustration that it doesn't look the way you thought it would. Friend, your expectation from when you were that version of you is not going to be the version that you have here. You are capable of so much more. Why let an expectation hold you where you are? My guides want you to understand that it's going to take some discipline from you on your end to get through this, but if you can lean in the direction of inspiration, it will absolutely bring you forward. They're acknowledging this feeling of restlessness in your energy, but it's just simply the space between where you are and where you're going. That's all you're feeling. Paul, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I hope it wasn't too rude, and I appreciate the help, friend. I'm very, very appreciative. Ah, well, hello. Nice to see you. All right. Paul, thank you again. I really appreciate it, and I hope it was helpful. Christina is next, and then Jacqueline is up after that. Christina is next, and Jacqueline is after that. I'm going to go ahead and close my list for the day. List is closed, friends. Christina is next, and Jacqueline is up after that. Have a great day, friend. I appreciate you. Hi, Christina. I see you. All right, Christina. So Christina, as I come into your space, I have this sort of sadness in my guts, okay? I feel as though I'm inside, like the image I'm getting is inside the house. Anyone who's had a reading with me before, has watched me, understands that when I see someone inside the house, it's an indication of being in your comfort zone. I see you in your comfort zone. You're looking outside of a window and there's this beautiful scenery out there, and there's this overwhelming sadness as if I've separated myself from being able to go out there. It's almost like I want to go outside so bad, but I don't have legs to walk, is what I'm hearing, something like that. And there's this overwhelming feeling of like self-defeat and sadness when it comes to whatever is outside that comfort zone representing, okay? This isn't an overall you're a sad person and you have a sad life. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I can see something and you can feel something that is just outside your comfort zone. I can feel the resonance of it in your energy, but there's a sadness that's keeping you from taking that step or following through on it. And it feels to me like anticipation or nervousness. Like if I just never do it, then they can't reject me. If I never do it, then I can never fail, right? There's this preemptive strike quality to it. And I see this sometimes with people who had very critical families or parents or were very type A kids. I get it. But you don't have to be that way. You don't have to talk to yourself like that. What I see is that what I clearly understand is that you would not be aware of the feeling of the possibility if it wasn't a possibility, because it would be outside of your frequency range and you would not be able to register this. So before you tell yourself that you're not good enough, special enough, whatever enough to do this, remind yourself that you wouldn't have this desire to do it if you couldn't achieve it in some way. Now, having a desire to fly does not mean that you can grow wings out of your back, and that has more to do with the environment you're in than the ability to grow wings out of your back, okay? But you can fly in other ways. So sometimes that's where the tangle is. We tell ourselves it can only look one way. But when we can't bring that forward into the 3D, we then punish ourselves by saying we're not special enough when it's really a matter of circumstance and not personal at all. Right? And I kind of feel like that's where you are. And I'm asking you to sort of open up to the idea that maybe you're learning how to balance some things, and maybe some grace for yourself is important right now, and recognizing that you don't have to earn any of these things is important. And there's nothing that's holding you back from stepping outside of your comfort zone except you and your fear of what you think it's going to be. But 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, I'll say, the fear of what's going to happen is far worse than what actually happens, and you'll never know that until you push past it. Right? So whatever it is, Christina, there's this feeling of wanting you to sort of go for it, go towards it, okay? Christina, this is what my guides have to say in addition to everything else I have already said. My guides want you to understand that you would not feel it if it wasn't possible for you. They're wanting you to step into your power, friend. Open the window. Go outside. The disharmony that you feel is simply because you are in a state of imbalance, because you are feeling the tug between what you want and what you think you can have, and they're not the same. Right? This creates a sense of inner conflict and absolutely will overburden your energy all the way around. My guides want you to understand you have the opportunity to step into a feeling of ownership and victory and all the good feels, right? You just have to allow yourself to do so. Let go of that feeling that you have to live up to somebody else's imaginary standards, and instead embrace the feeling of I am who I am and I'm proud of that. Step outside of your comfort zone and embrace this. Don't be fearful. Don't get trapped in that cycle in your head where you're going through and ruminating. Don't do that, right? Everything Anything you do can be an immense success or a terrible failure. Walking from here to the bathroom can be an immense success or a terrible failure. Why put so much pressure on yourself about one thing? All right. Christina, thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I appreciate it. And I really hope it was helpful. All right. Called out. I've been saying I'm in a period of integration, but I think I might be holding myself back from growth. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad I was able to be here. Well, thank you for allowing me to read for you. Huh? All right, Jacqueline, come on down and say hello. Come on down, Jacqueline. I am excited to read for you. You felt you needed another reading? Jackie? Okay. I can do another reading for you, but there's a lot of danger in that, right? If you're looking for something that you think you need to hear, then you've already told yourself what you think it is. And if I'm not saying that, then you're going to block the message. So I want to be very clear about that. I know we already did a reading for you, and I don't remember what it was. I know you said something about anxiety. This is what I have to say about anxiety. We don't need cards for this, okay? This is something I learned in my undergraduate studies. I have a degree in psychology. In psychology, what I learned was anxiety comes from living in the future because you're trying to control something that literally is pretend. It doesn't exist. Depression comes from living in the past and ruminating over things that you cannot possibly change no matter how bad you feel about it. Those are the two differences. The only place you're going to find any peace is here in the present moment. The problem is that your nervous system has been entrained to fight or flight mode for so long that all you think there is anxiety. That's all you perceive because that's where your brain has been your whole life. But what I need you to understand, because this is where the power comes from, is that anxiety, that habit of focusing constantly future, that habit of rumination, I want you to recognize the key word here is habit. When you can recognize that something is simply a habit, while it may take time, you can undo that, okay? So, your anxiety right now, Jackie, is driving the car. It's constructing your life for you. It's causing you to do or not do things. It has free reign in your life. And I imagine that that's highly uncomfortable. I've been there. I get it. And if you tell yourself that you have to get rid of all of your anxiety at once, you are never going to succeed at that because it's far too much pressure and you're too in your head about it. You have to find something small, something very manageable, something very easy for you to work with. Easy is a word here. So here's an example. For me, when I was learning to manage my anxiety, because I grew up in a house with an alcoholic father, if I disagreed with him, it meant I was going to be injured in some way. So my nervous system, as I was growing, learned to not disagree. So part of my growth was learning to be okay with not agreeing with everything someone says, for actually having an opinion and recognizing that I'm not going to get hurt for having that opinion. That is a pattern. That is all it is a neural pathway in your brain. You have to reduce it down to something that small because that's all it is. When you tell yourself that it's this big giant thing called anxiety that feels too big to deal with, all it is a pattern of behavior. And when you can break it down into its simplest components, you can recognize that. It starts with small steps. So for me, that looked like if someone said, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner. Normally, I would have been like, okay, whatever, and just found something there. But friends, I'm a vegetarian. I don't want to go there. Now, I don't have to say to that person, no, that's terrible, I don't want to go there. What I say is, Buffalo Wild Wings might be hard for me to find something to eat. Can I look at a couple other places? And that's very hard, because in that interim, I'm constantly tensed of what if they don't like it? What if they don't like it? What if they don't like it? Because you've been taught that if they don't like it, you're going to be hurt. But the truth of the matter is, especially as an adult, even if they don't like it, it's not going to hurt you. And I think that's where you are. You're putting too much pressure on yourself to get rid of all your anxiety, when instead you need to disassemble it one piece at a time. Living and celebrating the small moments of success that you have. Small moments make all the difference. And I wish I could give you better advice than that, but that is 100% of what it is. It's all in your hands. It's your power. You just have to embrace it and do something with it. So, Jackie, that's the best I can give you. There's no magic answer that I can give you for that. You know what I mean? There's no, say 5 Hail Marys and spin around 4 times. It doesn't really work that way. So it's about taking your power back and recognizing that you have a power that you've told yourself you don't. All right, guys, thank you so much for a wonderful morning, I guess. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. Meta and Whitney and Wade and everybody. Chrissy, thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Check out the replay later on. Yeah, Jenna, I read for you. It's there. So I would go back to the replay. I read for you. I called your name about 4 times. I posted your thing on there. And I stared at it and connected, so it's there. Definitely go back and find it in the replay. All right, you guys, have a great day. Bye.